There you go.
Okay, beautiful. It worked.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Mm, 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 mm.
Okay.
It's absolutely lovely being here.
So I'm so excited to have you with us on today. And so I'm going to go ahead and introduce you. So guys, on today on Morning Soulshine with Bridget, we are so honored to have with us all the way from Jamaica, Mr. Norman Gordon. And guys, he is an author, he's a writer, he's a poet, he is a speaker. Oh my gosh, he is just doing so many things. His brand is called Island Thoughts. Did I get that right?
Island Thoughts, Volume 1.
Volume one. So, yes, and so he's a mentor and he's also an acronym creator. So, you're going to have to go over that with us during the broadcast today. So, thank you
Okay.
so much for joining us on today. So, yeah, so tell us a little bit more about everything that you're doing right now.
All right, so let me start this way. It doesn't matter how much they try to degrade you, never let it stop your upgrade. And that's a thought from yours truly, Norman Gordon.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon.
Yes,
Thank you.
beautiful. My pleasure. Oh, well, my tropical island, Jamaica, indeed, let me say, thanks to those who have joined, indeed, right? I'm author of this book. That's my lovely book,
Okay.
Island, yes, Island Thoughts, Volume 1. It's the book of inspirational thoughts. And on it, it says, a thought a day, keep your troubles away. And if I should read the thought from the book, thought number 2 says, allow no one to limit your happiness to the engine room when it belongs in the cockpit.
Wow.
Yes.
I love that.
And thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, I believe in empowerment.
Hmm.
It takes you to heal yourself. And on my journey, this journey called life, I take periodic stops and I say, it's time to heal myself from this, because sometimes you remember things, and knowing that you remember things, you want to take some time to make sure it's not going to disallow you from continuing your journey. Thus, I created a space, and I say I'm going to use this space as the area where I'm going to use to go through my healing process, to go through my reset process. Thus, I started writing thoughts to heal myself, to soothe myself. It happened that I fell in love with writing, so I said, oh, let me take it to a next stage. Thus, the book was born a year and about 4 months ago. I serve schools in my community. I'm parent-teacher association representative for a wonderful school in my community. That's Clonmel Primary and Infant School. And I also mentor students there. And it's absolutely lovely interacting with our children. Some years ago, I started a youth program where I had my young people, they were under 18. And I had 3 sports programs going on. And, those were the youth I was mentoring.
Hmm.
And I must say it went well. So in addition to those things, usually I have to be there with them to empower them, to inspire them. So I started doing acronyms, So I sometimes put their names together and just put it in a poetry format, and that would bring out that extra strength, that extra energy that person needs to go on. And it worked well. So I started doing Acronym, you know, as a business, and it's absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Do I need to say more?
No, you did such a great job. So tell me, where did all of this love for people and wanting to motivate and inspire people, where did that come from?
All right, that's good. My upbringing, I didn't see the space I was in as a lovely space. Maybe it was a lovely space, but as a child, I think the environment I was in, a lot of things were lacking. That love, that compassion, that tenderness, that space that's conducive to the growth and development of a child, it wasn't there. When I grew older, I looked into all of that. No, that's where I used my past to build me. And a few days ago, that's why I came up with this thought. It doesn't matter how much they try to degrade you, never let it stop your upgrade. Because I was in the environment where it wasn't nice. But as I'm saying, when I grew older, I said to myself, I don't believe in children being hurt because of situations. And I don't believe in adults hurting each other and then the children suffer. It caused me to develop love for people, more love for people. And when I see my young people and they tell me of the situations going on in their households, and then they say they have nobody to really put things to, I had to be that shoulder for them. I had to be that big brother, that father for them. And I just developed that tenderness. And that's how I started, you know, just molding my young people.
That's wonderful. That's beautiful.
Yes, indeed.
It's beautiful. You know, when you and I spoke, we met on Clubhouse and we were discussing domestic violence. And I heard your story about growing up in a home that had experienced some,
Right.
domestic violence. So, can you talk to us today about childhood trauma when witnessing domestic violence?
Wow. Yes. As early as 4 years old, I was keen enough to be hearing my mom cry a lot. I didn't know why she was crying, but I could see distress, loneliness, lack of compassion, lack of that thing that would cause her to have hope. Then I suddenly realized why she was in so much pain. When I saw my father beating my mother, slapping her in the face, dragging her on the ground. Now, my sisters and I, let us say, we were helpless. I was like 4 years old. My baby sister was like 2 years old. And the other sister was 6 years old. All we had to do was just stand behind daddy, beating mommy, and cry. Now, when we were going to school, we were around happy children. Now, children are normally happy. So yes, we had that happiness at school. Somehow, when I go to school, I would still get flashbacks. I performed well indeed at school, but there would be the constant flashbacks. Because just imagine, you're at home, little boy, you're going to school. And just before you leave out, it's your father with the line of expletives, derogatory terms, and he's using those terms to describe your mother. When you leave that house, knowing that he deprived your mother of access to the food, so you know you don't get much to go to school with, you're not going to concentrate so well. It affected us badly. Really affected us. We were loving to each other. It pulled us closer, right? We didn't report to anybody because we were that scared of our father. I don't think my mother shared her story much with people at that time because she was scared of him. And she's the type of person who believes in healing yourself and keeping things to yourself. But then she was scared. And that fear she had for him, we, the children, suffered from it because mommy, who is supposed to be our tower of strength, she was breaking down. No, we were broken. You know, it was sad.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
So,
More to come though.
So how is your mother?
Well, you know, I'm happy you asked that question. My mother is doing great. She just returned from a 3-month trip where we contributed to that trip. She went to St. Lucia for some time. You know, she's traveling for the first time. So she was in Trinidad. She went to St. Lucia.
Wow.
She stopped in Barbados for a while, yes, and in Antigua for a while as well. So, you know, we do our best to keep as close as possible to her, and we are helping her through her healing process. Now, even now as we speak, I'm putting together her memoir. Yeah, in honor of her.
That's amazing. Wow, I
Yeah.
can't wait. I can't wait to see it. What a story. So tell me, how did you, once you grew up, how did you become the man that you are today?
All right. So let me go back to something. One of the things, 2 things I remember most was one day I was at home. I could be 5 years old, going 6 by now. And I heard some noise, a commotion in the house. When I went, now my father had a chair in his hand, the chair from around the eating table. So you know the chair has 4 legs, right? 4 legs. And my mother's back was to the wall and he had her pinned to the wall like this. And while he had her pinned to the wall, this was him. That's how he was feeding her with punches and slaps in the face and everything. About 2 years ago, my mother gave me a story I didn't know. I didn't even remember that I said that to her. She said to me, Norman, because now I was saying to her, why did you stay so long with them? And she said, I thought I didn't have anywhere else to go. One. And two, why I eventually left. One night, Norman, you went to bed. And when you went to bed, you got up the morning. You said to me, Mama, I dreamt that Daddy said he was going to break your hand. And she said when I told her that dream, in the morning, she said to him, I am leaving. She nicely packed. Now, when she packed and was leaving, he was sitting at the front. My sisters left behind my mom. Now, I was between a rock and a hard place because I was saying, should I stay? Should I go? So look at them going out. I started to cry. I said, Daddy, can I go with Mama? He said, yes. And I went with her. Now, when I looked, I said to myself, this is not something nice for people to go through. I every now and again remember those things. And for each time I remember going with my mother, I said to myself, I went with her to comfort her. I went with her to reassure her. And it gave me a soft spot for people. And sometimes people may try to step on me certain ways, but I do my best to be as humble and as calm as I can be. I do that. My life shaped me this way. I said to myself, I wanted to be the opposite of my father. I want my son to be like me. A month ago, I spoke to my son about humility. When I was talking to him about humility, he said to me, he started laughing. He said, Daddy, please say that again to me. When I said it to him the second time, he laughed even louder. He said to me, Daddy, please repeat it. When I repeated it, he said, Daddy, last night, I dreamt that you were saying that word, humility, to me. And I went on Google and got the full meaning of it. My past, what I've been through, shaped me. I'm not a product of my past. But I was structured not to repeat what I went through.
Wow, what an amazing testimony of how you can come from a situation was so horrible emotionally, and you can turn your life around and become the opposite, and to raise your children with love. So just because you've lived in a situation that was not so nice and so pretty, you can turn your life around. You can
Yes.
become different than what you've seen. And we have Mr. Norman Gordon with us on today. And he's talking to us about growing up in a domestic violence home and having childhood trauma due to what he's seen. But we see on the other side of trauma that God has, created in him such a great, great heart for people. And for that, we're thankful. And you're getting love. You're getting love. People are watching and sending you love. And so, Mr. Gordon, I'm
Yes,
just so
please.
thankful that I've met you. You're such a soft spoken person. And I remember when the first time I met you, I was just listening to every word you said because you can feel the love that you have in your heart. And I'm just so honored to have you today as you speak to our audience. And, just to encourage everyone that you can make it. You can make it. So, Mr. Gordon, is there anything else you would like to share with us?
All right. Now, let me say, check your relationship. Do some introspection. You may think it's okay to answer to everything your spouse or your partner say and do. You may say to yourself, hey, let me react. But please assess situations. Instead of being reactive, be proactive. Is this the correct answer? Do I have to answer to everything? When is it time to take a break? Say to yourselves, there are other ways to resolve things instead of lifting your hands. There are other ways to resolve things without raising your voice. There are other ways to resolve things without bringing the negative from the past. If you mean your relationship, if you mean yourself well, if you mean your children well, be careful of how you operate. And let me say, even in our teenage years, my sisters and I traveled with low self-esteem. Yes, when we were in grade school, we traveled with low self-esteem because of these things. And it's something we didn't share with people. So people saw we out there, they didn't know what we were going through. Even the community itself didn't know. But what we have done for the past few years, three of us, my sisters and I, we have been getting together regularly to heal ourselves, to reassure our mother. And we are not mean because we reach out to our father as well. Only thing we don't invite him in, where our mother is because, excuse me, she's still battling from what she has been through. But I'm saying to us, choose wisely when you are seeking relationships. Please do. I've never seen a man going through domestic abuse, but from my mother's experience, it is awful. You have given a man 3 children and you say to him, it's hard on us. We can't afford it. Don't give me another. And because you say to him, let's not have another, he feels he's supposed to abuse you in every way. Because you say to him, we're just in one room and we have 3 children here. We can't do intercourse irresponsibly. He feels that he's supposed to beat on you. I'm saying to my brothers out there, please protect the sisters. They can do nothing that badly to deserve a hand on them or that raised voice. My sisters out there, I'm saying to you, just choose wisely. Brothers, choose wisely as well. To the children who have suffered and who are suffering because of domestic violence, I was in it. I survived. And you will. And everybody who is getting the bitter end of domestic violence, it will soon be over. Make the necessary steps for it to be over. Bless you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon. Thank you so much. And we really appreciate you being here with us on today and sharing your story with us. Can you tell us how we can follow you and how we can purchase your book?
All right. Thank you so much. My book, Island of Thoughts, Volume 1, it is on Amazon. Amazon.com, it's there. Or you can DM me, message me for a signed copy. I also have a Facebook page. It's a page of inspirational thoughts and videos. It's The Poetry Man. It has a unique spelling. The Poetry space hyphen space man.
Okay.
I'm also on TikTok. The underscore poetry underscore man. And where is it? Oh, I'm on Instagram as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just search for Norman Gordon. Feel free to follow my pages. Feel free to share. Feel free to reach out. Together, we can make the world the way it is supposed to be.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gordon. Thank you so much for being with Bridget on Morning Soulshine with Bridget. And guys, we are at the end of October, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. If you know anyone who's living in domestic violence, please share with them the National DV hotline. It's 1-800-799-7233. And guys, we want to bring awareness to domestic violence year round, not just 1 month. So thank you, Mr. Gordon, for being with us, and God bless you, and all love to you and your family. God bless you.
Bless you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Have a good day.
You too.